Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Montreal Canadiens franchise mode. So in last episode we had the start of the season simulation, and as you could see, we are 16, 19, and 5 so far this season. We've been kind of struggling for the most part, but we aren't still that far back of a playoff spot. So it depends on how we simulate this month if I decide to make any trades though for guys to help us get into the playoffs or to help us like fall back more, because we could technically choose their own fate at this stage. Also, the St. Louis Blues, who we have their first round pick of, they're doing really well, but the Western Conference is very tight. As you can see, the last playoff spot in the West has 47 points, while the Blues have 49 points. So if they wanted to fall out of a playoff spot, Dallas could pass them, and Chicago could even pass them. So hopefully the Blues end up missing the playoffs. I don't think they probably will because they have a pretty balanced squad from what I've seen. But yeah, we basically traded Max Domi at the first game of the season to them, and we got back like 2 first round picks and two prospects. So I'm hoping we're still able to maybe get some good lottery picks with those first rounders, but you never know what will happen. So we aren't going to make any trades just yet, but there is some guys I wouldn't mind moving if we are doing really bad, like we're under 500. So one of those guys is the guy we just signed in the offseason, in Kiefer Sherwood. He could probably fetch us some good prospects and maybe a pick or two. Another guy I wouldn't mind moving would be, let's see, Brady Shea maybe as well, because Brady Shea, he has been really good, and his trade value has spiked a lot because of that. So we might be able to trade him away and get back a lot of good prospects and stuff like that as well. Another guy maybe Brandon Montour, and then also maybe Travis Dermott, I guess. And then Peter Mrazek's another guy we could move out, and then we could just call up Carey Price, so then it would be like Sapanen and Price, which would be a really weak goaltending combination and definitely help us to get maybe a better chance at a first overall pick. So yeah, we're not gonna make any trades yet, but we might make some trades in to start February, because right now we're still in January. So let's get the rest of this season simulated, and then we'll see who wins all the awards and stuff if we miss the playoffs. Okay, so our first game back is against the Edmonton Oilers, and they're a very tough team in the standings. It says they have 58 points. We're probably gonna lose this one, I would assume. Was Adamski ever injured down there in the minors? Yes, he was. Okay. I couldn't remember. So there you go, him back with Olli Rinne. Okay, so we're getting offered Drake Caggiula, which I don't really want to give up picks for Drake Caggiula, just because, like I said, I don't know how this team's going to simulate the rest of the season, so we're not going to be necessarily trading for players to help us for a playoff spot, because we did trade away Domi, and that kind of defeated the purpose of that deal. So let's go week, see if we could get some wins here. Game against Edmonton, and we lose 3-1. Vegas is also a loss. Yeah, we're kind of falling off a bit. I don't want Drake Caggiula, no thanks. Not if this team's going to keep losing. There's a win over Washington, and the game against Pittsburgh is an OT loss, so we are still at 40 points. The last playoff spot looks like it has how much points? The last wildcard spot's 48 points, which is pretty far above us. The last one in our division has 52 points, so we're probably not going to make it at this stage, but let's get the rest of this month done, and then we'll probably flip away some players, and hopefully we could still maintain having an actual balanced roster, because if we let go of too much guys, we might end up having to play players in the AHL and all that. This team's kind of streaky, where they win games and they lose games badly, but right now it looks like we're doing pretty bad in terms of defense and offense. And last game, 4-3 win, so we're 19-24-6. How far are we back now? The last playoff spot in the Eastern Conference has 51 points, I think, or is it the one in the other division? Yeah, it's 51 points, so we're technically 7 points back. So I think we're going to start making some trades to get rid of some players on our team, because this team is just not gelling together. And yeah, I think we're going to get rid of at least Sherwood. I wouldn't mind trying to move Mrazek, but Mrazek's not going to fetch us a whole lot. Like, I would rather let go of the guys that have a lot of trade value, so Sherwood. Brady Shea, I don't really like moving because he's been a really solid piece for this team. Like, as you can see, 30 points in 49 games. Like, he could come back next year as well. Yeah, you know what? I might not move Shea. I might move Montour, though, even though Montour's been, like, a solid guy for us as well. Travis Dermott. Oh, Dermott is definitely a piece I'll move, actually. Let's try and move Dermott and Sherwood, because Dermott's a minus 20, which is pretty bad. He might be the reason we're doing so bad simulation-wise. And Mrazek we could try and deal, but, like, it's not worth it really because I don't think he's going to fetch us a whole lot. So let's find a trade for Kiefer Sherwood, see if we could get anything decent back, because Sherwood's been having an alright season, I think, so far, right? Yeah, he's having a great year so far. He's got 38 points in 49 games, so he's been one of the bright spots on our team. It could be his power play time, but I think if we move him, we could get probably a decent prospect. So let's see if we could find a trade for Kiefer Sherwood. And then I guess we're going to have to find like a roster player to replace him or something. So we could get a low top 6 forward prospect, which I don't really want. Oh yeah, I was looking at this before and it said we could get some top 6 forward prospects, and Binnington was probably the best out of those ones from Buffalo. We could also get Alex Texier, which I don't think we really need, but that is a roster player. Obey Kabul, Kajula, Leeson, Batan, and Hunt. I think the one I like the most is this Binnington, Nichols in the 4th deal. Yeah, I think that's the one I like the best. Because Binnington, like I said, I think is the best prospect Buffalo had for forwards. Because he was 19 years old, 71 overall, and he's already in the AHL, I think. But he doesn't look like he's getting any playing time down there, so we're going to have to give him some playing time down in our system. We also get Nichols, who's not really much of anything. He's kind of just like a sweetener. We actually might be able to get rid of, take Nichols off this and make it a 3rd. I don't know if that would do anything. It might. The 3rd might be a bit too high still. So, yeah, anyways. And then we get a 4th round pick back in this deal. And then we get rid of Sherwood, which means we're going to have to probably find somebody to take his roster spot. We could call up somebody from the AHL even if they're not that good. So, yeah, we're going to do this deal. And we're rejecting it. It was oh wait, it was a fine trade. It wasn't the one that it qualified. They'd have to put Max Pacioretty on waivers. Damn, that sucks. Okay, so we're not going to do that trade, apparently. The computer found us a trade, but apparently it's one that's not going to work. So let's take a look at these other deals. So I guess we can't trade them to Buffalo, which kind of sucks because those ones are the best deals. So, I guess we could do the Texier deal. Alright, this one looks good as well. Yeah, Obey Kabul could just take a roster spot for Sherwood, and then we get 2 seconds out of it. Like, Obey Kabul is probably not that good. Oh, he's not that bad, actually. Yeah, you know what? Obey Kabul. We'll do this deal. And accept it. There you go. So I think that was a decent trade, just because at least we get a roster player back. And, at least we get 2 more seconds. So we're kind of stocking up on picks for the next 2 seasons, at least. So Caulfield will go up. Pelletier has good offensive awareness, I think. Yeah, but not as good as Obey Kabul. So I'll put Obey Kabul on the 2nd line, which kind of seems weird, but we'll do that anyways. And then extras, is that 4-on-4 or 3-on-3? 3-on-3, that's what I thought. We'll put Obey Kabul as well there, because he has good offensive awareness. He actually might be a better fit for us than Sherwood, even though Sherwood was simulating really well. So we'll put Obey Kabul in there. Okay, so now we're going to try and trade away Travis Dermott, and then I don't think we're going to move Mrazek just because I don't think he's going to fetch us a whole lot. So he's one of those guys that we could just let go to free agency, but definitely want to move out Travis Dermott because he's not been playing well at all. Definitely not worth that $5 million cap hit at all, being a minus 20. See if we could find a solid enough defensive replacement, or maybe not even one, because we do have Lauzon who we could play in the lineup. So we could get Ryan Strome a third and a fifth, but Ryan Strome's got too much contract years left. I don't really like that. A second, Sorella, and a fourth. A second and a fourth. I don't mind that one, actually. I don't really want a roster player in exchange unless it's a prospect. Damn, Kyle Okpozo's still making 2.5. Yikes. Yeah, okay, so I think the one I'm going to accept here is going to be the second and a fourth, and then we'll put Lauzon into our lineup. Or I might call up Salmelainen and play Salmelainen, I don't know. Because currently we don't have any depth players at all in the NHL, so actually, yeah, we're going to call up Geyser. He's going to be our depth defenseman for the rest of the season, and then I think that's all we're going to do for line changes. So we're gonna put Tanev up, and then we're gonna put Mahura with Lauzon, and then Geyser will be bringing in if we have any defensive injuries. And then in the system we'll move up Olli Rinne. Wow, Svechkovsky's playing defense. That's kind of weird. And then we're gonna put in, I guess we don't have any more defensemen down there. So we're going to need to draft some more defensemen because we have no depth defenders. So we're going to have to put a forward on defense. So I guess we're going to put in Myzak. That's going to be an offensive top six. It's kind of weird. And then in terms of extra attacker, we will put in, let's put in Nigrin, considering he's currently our best overall prospect. So there you go. Kind of questionable deals, but if we are heading the rebuilding state, I think that is a good move to make, because I don't think his team's going to come back and make the playoffs all of a sudden. But now we have 2 more second round picks from that LA deal. We have another second and fourth from that Detroit deal, and we already have the 2 firsts basically from St. Louis. So let's get the rest of this month done, see if we can maybe still make the playoffs. You know, this team is horrendous now. Like, they were really bad before, but let's see how this team simulates. Like I said, I wouldn't mind dealing somebody like Brady Shea or Brandon Montour, but at the same time, those guys have been actual good pieces on our team, like bright spots in kind of a bad lineup, so I wouldn't mind keeping them with us. Okay, so those 2 games, we won 1 and lost 1, so we are 20, 25, and 6. Let's go straight up to the deadline. And then we're going to take a look if there's been any trades around the league, because I don't normally do that often, so I want to kind of see if there's been any other deals with teams. And yeah, hopefully we could not make the playoffs and get a good lottery pick. Like, I want us to kind of tank now at this stage, but as I say that, we're winning games now, which is kind of a bad sign, but I mean, it's not that bad either. Like, to be a contending team maybe and have a lot of picks. Yeah, why are we winning games now? We've won 5 games in a row, and there's a shootout loss. Like, we have points every game this month so far, except for that one against Detroit. There's another win. Yeah, this team is playing really good. If it's away Kabul that's making us win games, I should have probably took somebody else instead. So Josh Brooks been injured, we'll replace player. Yeah, I don't know why this team's simulating way better with those changes that we made. Maybe it was just getting rid of Dermott that helped us out a lot. I don't really need Heponiemi. And at the deadline, we are... Oh, geez, there's a big trade. So Luke Green, Blake Spears, and a 4th head to Dallas for Michael Dal Cole, Brandon Leipzig, a 4th, and Dylan Ferguson. So we're 27, 28, and 8, and we're not far back, I think, of a playoff spot, which is not good. Like I said, I want this team to just fall off. But actually, yeah, we are kind of far back of a playoff spot. We're 5 points back. But still, we've made up some ground since those 2 trades. Also, the St. Louis Blues are doing really well now, so that's not a good sign, because that means we're going to have probably a late first rounder from that this year at least. But hopefully next year the St. Louis Blues like fall apart or something, and then maybe we get a lottery pick. But let's take a look at how Obeko Wool's been with us, because maybe he's the reason why this team is simulating better. Let's see. He has 10 points in 14 games. Sorry about that, my voice is just going on me for some reason, but Obeko Wool's been pretty good with this team so far. Could be because he's getting power play time. So that's interesting. And then how has Lauzon been since being put into the lineup? Lauzon's got 3 points and he's a +3, so maybe Dermott was the reason why we were losing games. It's a possibility. And Sepanen has grown to an 80, so he's getting better. And he's got a winning record, so I'm hoping Sepanen still reaches his elite potential. If not, maybe a starter or a high backup kind of situation. Mrazek is still struggling, which is not a surprise. Playing 50 games and doesn't even have 20 wins. So that's a bit of a yikes. Okay. So let's continue simulating, I think. Are we at the deadline now or no? I don't remember if we got to the deadline. Yeah, we are at the deadline. Let's take a look at trades around the league. Even though this episode might be a bit long, just because of those trades that we made. So player pick and trading. So any other big deals? Tristan Jarry heads to the Detroit Red Wings. Will Bitton heads to Dallas. The Sebastian Aho defenseman heads to Nashville. Jesse Puljujärvi in a second and a fifth head to Minnesota for a second in Ben Bishop. Interesting. So not a whole lot of action around the league, but not too bad either. I guess most teams had their trade deadline earlier on. Okay, so let's tank the rest of the season and not win games, boys, because we shouldn't be a playoff team, but if we make the playoffs somehow, I don't know what I'm going to say, because I didn't expect that, if that is the case. So let's get these last 2 games of the month done. There's a loss, good. Josh Brook is back for the AHL club. Hopefully the AHL club is better this year. So there you go, Josh Brook. Oh yeah, that guy that we traded for, actually we should put in the lineup. I don't think I did yet. No, he's not even an AHL player, so he must be still in like Europe or something. Or did I even trade for a prospect? I don't even remember. I don't think I did. Okay, so 27, 30, and 8. Let's get the rest of the month of March done. See if we could start tanking, because we need to kind of start tanking at this stage if we want a good chance at a top 10 pick. Because we didn't decide to move Brady Shea or Brandon Montour, because those 2 guys I wouldn't mind re-signing. But that depends on if our defensive prospects that we do have are growing or not, like Salmelainen. Okay, so we're kind of back and forth at this stage. Game against Vancouver is another loss. Good job, boys. Keep losing. There's a win, though, against the Flyers and the Pens. I'm surprised that we're still managing to put up 30-something wins with this roster. So Kobayashi is back. Even though he doesn't really have much potential, might as well put him back into the lineup instead of Mr. Fonstad. There you go. Game against Philadelphia coming up, and Florida to end the month. I'll just continue that. There's a win again, and last game is another win. How are we almost 500? This does not make any sense. And I don't think we can make the playoffs, right? 78 points. Last playoff spot has 84 points, so I guess we could technically make it, but it is a pretty slim chance at this stage. We'd have to win every single game coming up, and the teams that have a playoff spot right now would have to lose all their games. So last 3 games of the season, there's a game against Detroit is a loss, so that makes it so we don't make the playoffs. Game against Ottawa is another loss, good job, and Tampa's a loss. So we finished with 78 points, which was the second worst in our division. 35, 39, and 8. And I think the season's done for almost everybody else. Some teams have 1 game left. Let's advance a day. There, the season is fully done. So let's take a look at player stats and the team stats, and then we will simulate up to the draft, find out the awards, all that stuff. So entire league standings, where did we finish in the entire league? Hopefully in the bottom 5 or something like that. No, it's not looking like that. No, we finished 25th. So we finished just outside of the top 5. So we might have a chance of getting a pretty good pick if we get like the simulation on our side. But there's a pretty big point gap between us and Minnesota. So the chances of us moving up is pretty slim, I think. Hopefully we don't fall back either, though. So goals for per game, we were averaging 2.9 goals per game, which was not the greatest, but it wasn't horrendous either, I don't think. Goals against per game, that's where we struggled. We were one of the Yeah, one of the worst defensive teams, not the worst defensive team. So I mean that's not that bad. Only allowing 266 goals, while the rest of these teams allowing 270 plus. Power play percentage, we were really struggling on the power play this year, I think it said. Yeah, we were struggling 18% on the power play, and our penalty kill was one of the worst as well. So we kind of struggled all around, except for defense wasn't horrendous, but it wasn't great either. Shorthanded goals for... We had 7 shorthanded goals this year, though. We were one of the best shorthanded teams for scoring goals, but just not keeping the puck out of the net. So I guess we're a bit too much offensively minded. Our home record was 2017, and what did it say? We had a good home record, it looked like. Yeah, we had a good home record, a solid home record, but we had a bad road record that kind of screwed us over. Okay, let's take a look at player stats for this season, and then we'll start simulating up to the draft. So let's start by each position. So center-wise, Kotkaniemi, 75 points. He's going to have to get re-signed in the off-season this year, so hopefully he doesn't want too much money, because I don't want to be paying that much money to a guy. But Carey Price's contract ends this offseason, so he's no longer a member of this team, I think, because I'm not going to re-sign him for like $1 million or whatever, unless he wants to play in the AHL, but we might have to play our other prospects down there. Morgan Frost, 49 points, was a minus 21, so I guess the second line was kind of struggling. Suzuki, 43 points. Forsbacka Carlson had 30 points on, I think, the fourth line only. Wasn't he only on the fourth line? No, he was also on the power play, but he only averaged 934 of ice time per game. Sam Steele, 23 points, and Paling, 22. So he looks like, yeah, the bottom 6 and the bottom 9 in general were all struggling defensively, while the first line was good. Left wing-wise, Lafreniere was almost point per game, 78 points and a +5, while Jacob Pelletier was a minus 20 and had 34 points. So we need a bit better of a defensive bottom 6, it seems like. Cole Caulfield, 67 points, was a minus 9. Obey Kabul had 32 points in between us and LA. He had 20 with us in 33 games, so I mean he was a pretty good pickup. I don't know if we want to keep him around or not, maybe we do. Jesse Alonen, 25 points, and Gunler had 15 points and was a +3, so I guess Gunler was good defensively. And in terms of our defense, Brady Shea, 45 points, Brandon Montour, 33 points, both of them are plus. Lambos was a minus 19 and had 22 points, probably because he was playing with Travis Dermott for most of the year before he got dealt. And then Josh Mahura, 14 points, was a +1. Tanev, 9 points, -7. And Lauzon had 6 points and was a +1. Goaltending-wise, Mrazek was really horrendous by comparison to last year, which is what I was expecting, because last year he had kind of a run that we didn't expect. So yeah, he dropped from 37 wins last year to 24 only this year. And then Sapanin, pretty good rookie season for him. 11-5-3, a shutout, a .915 save percentage, and a 2.68. So he might be our starter next season, potentially, if he grows a lot. Let's take a look at the entire league for stats as well, just to see who led. I'm guessing it's probably going to be like Nathan MacKinnon again. And it's Mr. Magnus Lander. This guy's been insane for scoring goals for LA. 68 goals this year in 113 points. He's got 295 goals in 481 games. Like, this guy might break Gretzky's goal record if we continue this GM mode all the way up until like February. Like, this guy's insane. Like, I'm definitely going to see how much this guy retires with for goals, because look at this. Like, his first season in the NHL, 13 goals, but then he jumps up to 48, then 58, then 59, then back down to 49, and then comes out of nowhere with a 68 goal season. And then playoff wise, he's never been to the playoffs, so he might be looking to move from LA soon. Nathan MacKinnon was up there with 113 points as well, and same with Connor McDavid. So a 3-way tie for the most points this season. A lot of points actually between the top 6, like Ranton and Landeskog and McKinnon, all over 100 points, which is insane. Let's take a look at defense. The best defenseman this year was Erik Karlsson, 91 points. Jeez. That's almost 30 more points than the next best defenseman. And then goaltending wise, the best goalie this year was Frederick Anderson for wins. Best save percentage by a starter was Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. And best goals against per game by a starter was David Rittich. Interesting. Okay, so let's sim up to the draft. See where we're drafting. Well, actually, we're going to find out the awards first and stuff. But hopefully we get a pretty good pick this year. Like, hopefully the draft lottery is in our favor. Like, when we drafted Lafreniere, we moved from, like, I think number 13 to number 1. Hopefully we have that chance where we move from, like, number 5 to number 1. Because I would really like to get whoever the top prospect is. Because I was looking at the draft class the other day, and it looks like the top guy could be a franchise guy. He doesn't have his potential shown yet, but he might by now. I'm hoping he's franchise at least. My voice keeps on trying to go on me, probably because I woke up only like an hour ago. Okay. I wonder who's going to win the Stanley Cup this year. I'm feeling either Colorado or Edmonton just because McDavid and McKinnon have both been really good the last few years. So we got our contract renewal for Montreal, which is another 5 years. I don't want to sign with any other team. So Montreal, 5 years for 6.5. Apparently I'm a good enough GM to make $6.5 million. So the Edmonton Oilers are the Stanley Cup champions, apparently. Yep, and Tucson wins the AHL. Interesting. Let's take a look at those awards for the season. So McDavid getting another Stanley Cup. I think he's won one before in this. Let's take a look. So Edmonton, yeah, they won back-to-back Stanley Cups. Colorado winning their third straight President's Trophy, but they still have yet to win a cup, which is kind of a bad thing for them. And it was an Edmonton and Carolina Stanley Cup final, so a rematch of 2006, only 20 years later. It's kind of cool. Individual awards, Lander wins the Art Ross. Yeah, and then McKinnon wins the Hart. Erik Karlsson takes home the James Norris. And the Lady Byng. Wow. Interesting for Erik Karlsson there. I don't know the guy's first name, but Jas wins the Calder. McDavid wins the Conn Smythe for the second straight season. Rittich wins the Vezina. Grubauer wins the Jennings. Siegenthaler wins the Bill Masterton. Vance wins the Jack Adams. Nolan Patrick the Selke. Nathan McKinnon the Lindsay. And Lander the Maurice Richard. In the AHL, any awards for our AHL affiliate? Probably not, right? Nope. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so now let's find out where we are drafting, and we'll see the retirements as well, because hopefully Carey Price retires this year, because like I don't want to bring him back, but I know a lot of you guys would be pissed off if I just let him go to free agency. Okay, so we should be getting the draft lottery results soon. And we are going to be drafting number 9. Wow, we fell back from 7 to 9. Jeez. That sucks. Well, number 9 is still a good spot because there is a defenseman I was looking at going after that is supposed to go number 9, I think. So we probably will go with him if we get the chance. But Nashville jumped from 14th to number 1, which is a really bad... Oh, they got really lucky there. It's like what happened when we won Lafreniere. A lot of teams probably were pissed off about it. And then the retirements for this season, and I will show you guys the draft class and the progress reports, and that'll be it for this episode. So, retirement-wise, Evgeny Malkin retires with 1,600 points. Kovalchuk retires. Krejci, Pacioretty, Tatar, our former player. I guess he stayed in Philadelphia the entire time since we dealt him in year number 1. Interesting. Couture retires. Okposo, Broussard, Smith, etc. Some younger kind of guys, 36 years old, most of them. And then goalie-wise, did Carey Price retire? No, he did not, but we probably won't re-sign him. Tuukka Rask retires. Antti Raanta retires. James Reimer. Anybody for us, though? I don't think so, right? Yeah, nobody for us, it looks like, right? Oh, Chris Tanev retired. Huh. That kind of sucks because he was good defensively, not this season, but the first season we brought him over. I still think that was a good trade when we brought him over because like he was a plus 17 in 43 games, and then this season he kind of struggled a bit, but still not too bad nonetheless. He played just under 1,000 career NHL games, mostly with Vancouver, and then 124 games with us. Okay, so that is the retirements. Now, let's see. Do we have any coaches that we have retiring or no? No, we don't have any coaches that retired. Yeah, let's actually, should we do interviews? Yeah, this might be a long episode because of these interviews as well, but yeah, this guy's probably a franchise player, I'm guessing. We still don't know his potential, but he's going first overall. Looks really good based on his stats. But we have number 9. So yeah, this Ehrhoff guy is a medium top 4, but I think it said he was NHL ready. Yeah, he is. So this guy is definitely who I want to go after if I get the chance. But it says he's supposed to go 10th, maybe based on my scouting recommendation. So yeah, this guy's definitely, I think, are going to be our pick, Felix Ehrhoff, if we get the chance. Let's actually take an interview on Heatley as well. And these other guys, see how good they are. So, how close are you to being NHL ready? Oh, I don't want to go personality. NHL ready is like the only thing I really care about. And what their player type is. So this guy is an NHL ready player as well. So maybe we take him, and he looks like he is a two-way defenseman. So that's not that bad either. So this guy's a two-way defenseman, NHL ready as well. There's a lot of NHL ready players. Okay, so this guy could be better potentially than Ehrhoff. ABA, BBB. Ehrhoff is almost straight A's, so I would rather probably take Ehrhoff still at that stage. And then, should I interview Navels? We don't really need forwards though. Or at least centers. Oh yeah, this Carl guy was supposed to be looking really good as well, but he's not supposed to go till later. I'm going to interview him as well, might as well. And we need to interview one more player, and then yeah, we'll get to the actual full draft class and the progress reports. Okay, so how ready do you think you're ready to play? You're a few years away, so he's probably like 2 years away, which means he could be elite potential maybe. And wait, actually his play style, what type of defenseman is he? So he's a two-way defenseman as well. A lot of good defensemen in this draft, which is good for us because we have 2 first-rounders. Also, St. Louis didn't win the cup, so we have not a high, well, maybe like a 25th overall pick from them. So yeah, this guy's probably good, but he's probably not good enough to take up where we are. And then since we have a late first-rounder, probably somewhere around 25th, there's another good goalie, potentially elite, but he's 5 years away. I think the computer was telling me about Lee Dean, but he's probably just a top 6. Klessel is a top 6 defenseman. Cunning wouldn't be that bad. He's actually he's NHL ready as well. So Cunning's probably going to be our second rounder, our late first round pick as well. Getting 2 NHL ready defensemen on the draft would be insane. So yeah, that's definitely going to be what's happening. And I guess we'll just interview that other German guy. But I'm not going to show you guys the draft class since you guys could kind of see what it is like already. So Nabels, let's interview you quickly. Play style. Your readiness. This guy's also NHL ready. Damn, this guy might be elite. I don't know if I want to take the defenseman now with our first, because we could take that NHL ready defenseman later and take this guy in the first round if he's ready. Like, he could be an elite center, which would be an okay replacement if Kakaniemi goes down, if we let him go eventually. Yeah, Nabels might be elite, but he is a grinder. An elite grinder, I don't know if I like that. Okay, so that is the draft class and stuff. Let's take a look at our progress reports quickly. See if we got any good growth from our players in the system, and then that'll be it for this episode. So let's start by modified. So Paxpu is NHL ready for next season. That's good. He'll probably take a roster spot on that 4th line. Swift is almost ready. Hillman's almost ready. Anybody else? Let's actually just sort by overall. Zimmerman will probably be NHL ready next season, or he'll be on the AHL top pairing. Carey Price is dropping off a lot, which is not good. Well, it is good, I guess. We're probably not going to bring him back. Olli Rinne is slowly growing, so I might have not actually drafted that good of a steal. Because he's not growing as fast as I thought he would be. Strom, who we got in the St. Louis deal, is up to his 72. Ryder's up to his 72, so our league goalie is AHL ready pretty much, but he's not going to get the play in the AHL yet. Another really good season for him. Not really save percentage wise and goals against wise, but really good in terms of shutouts and wins. Okay, so that's going to do it, guys, for this episode of our Montreal Canadiens franchise mode. So in next episode, we will have the draft and probably re-sign stage, maybe free agency even, as we look to kind of rebuild this team into being a potential playoff contender maybe in a couple of seasons. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.